Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back. I am filming this video for the second time because the first time I filmed like a 90-minute video going through all of the new catalog scents one by one in depth, and then I had technical difficulties and it was gone. So we are trying again, and I hope it works this time. We're going to try to do this in multiple parts because I think the issue was my phone could not handle a video that large. So we're going to cut this into two pieces. The first piece is going to be the 10 brand new fall scents for fall, in addition to the ones that are returning from previous years. So Christmas and fall scents or holiday and fall scents from previous years, in addition to the 10 brand new scents. In a subsequent video, we're going to cover the ones that have been back from other catalogs in general. So things like Clothesline, Amazon Rain, Black Raspberry Vanilla, all those ones that we tend to see over and over. So this video is going to be the one that you all wanted to see with the fall and new releases, and most of you did want to see the full catalog, so we will do the rest of those in another video. If you're just here for fall and holiday, stay tuned, this is the video for you. Alright, so the 10 brand new scents from Scentsy. The first one we have Blue Sage and Tonka. This one is Midnight Sage, Black Lavender, and Tonka. This one's really pretty, very fall, very cool weather, a little bit woodsy, a little bit masculine without being overly cologne-like. I have warmed this in my home, and I found on warm there was a bit more of a cologne-like note for the first 8 hours or so, and then that kind of died down and you were left with a really herbal, cozy, woodsy, warm type of scent. I really liked it, and it lasted quite a good duration as well, and also pretty decent throw, so would recommend. Next we have Cashmere and Corduroy, which is by far my favorite of the new fall collection. It is vanilla, Sicilian bergamot, and cashmere sandalwood. It's sweet, it's cozy, and it's kind of hard to describe, but it's sweet and cozy. It doesn't smell like cozy cardigan, but I think if you like cozy cardigan, you would like Cashmere and Corduroy as well, if that makes sense. It's really nice. Again, this one lasted quite a long time as well. I was happy with the performance, and again, my favorite of the collection. Next, we've got Cinnamon Buttercream. This one I was not a fan of on cold. In here it's fine, but in the bar, there was kind of a mascarpone cheese note on the top of the bar, and I don't get that in the tester. And on warm, I didn't get it either. On warm, this was just a very cinnamon bakery vanilla type scent. It's all right. I don't see it as a standout for me, but it's hard to go wrong with, if that makes sense. It's one that I think a lot of people would like. Again, it doesn't wow me, but is it good? Yeah, it's a good one. So it is Italian buttercream, mascarpone, and cinnamon cake. And there is cinnamon, and it does come out more when warm, but I wouldn't say it's a heavy cinnamon. So I think even if you tend to shy away from cinnamon, you might still enjoy this. Next, we have got Eucalyptus Wreath. This one is fresh eucalyptus, juniper, and frosted mint. And the eucalyptus is the standout note in this one. There is some mint lending more of like a coolness to it, like a cool freshness. But overall it is eucalyptus, and it kind of reminds me of like Irish Spring soap maybe. It is a little bit soapy for me, but very fresh. I can see this one being popular among those who like fresh scents. For me, this is probably one of my least favorite of the new collection, but I'm just not a shower kind of scent person. So I think it is a nicely done green scent. I like that it's a green wintertime scent without smelling like a Christmas tree or a pine tree. So that is, I think, unique, and I think it's been done well. So if you're looking for a green, fresh holiday scent that isn't pine, it might be this one, Eucalyptus Wreath. Next we have Graham Cracker Crunch. This is caramelized graham cracker, crunchy peanut butter, and vanilla bean. And on cold, this one's okay. On warm, this one really jumps out. This one is beautiful on warm. My husband said it right. He thinks it smells like peanut butter oatmeal cookies, and he was dead on. So in the cup and in the bar as well, I don't get graham cracker. I get peanut butter and vanilla, and it's okay. On warm, that graham cracker crust really comes out. The peanut butter and the vanilla meld nicer, and it just turns into this like really yummy cookie scent. It's really, really nice. Next up, we've got Harvest Blessings. This one is Radiant Apple, Spiced Pumpkin, and Smooth Oak. So you're expecting pretty traditional fall. The ones before now have been a little bit of a different tone on fall than we normally see. But this one is your classic fall. So traditional classic fall, you got pumpkin apple with a little bit of wood grounding it. Really nice. It's nice. I have nothing bad to say about this. I quite like it. I have not warmed it yet. Is it unique? No, but it's really nicely done pumpkin apple wood fall. I'm looking forward to this one for September, October. Next we have Pomegranate Prosecco. This is Rosé Berry, Pomegranate, and Pink Prosecco. And this one's really nice. I think this one would be fantastic for like holiday parties, or for New Year's, or for maybe like November when this holiday season's just kind of getting started. It's really nice. It's berry and like champagne without being boozy and without being overly cranberry, but it still feels like there's some cranberry in there. I really enjoy this, and I think you could get away with this all year round if you really wanted to. I don't think you could burn this in summer and think, oh, this is a holiday scent. I think you could get away with it quite nicely, but it is still festive, so I really like this one. Pomegranate Prosecco. Next we have Scarlet Sunflower. This is apple, red cranberry, and scarlet sunflower. And so there is a floral note in here. And I guess I could imagine it being sunflower, although I haven't smelled a sunflower in a long time. There is apple, and I can see cranberry. So it's kind of a fruity floral with a fall take. So instead of being like a summery fruity floral, it's kind of like an autumn fruity floral. This one to me just screams August. This one kind of brings to mind August when I smell it. This is going to be the bar that goes in my melting basket for August. So if you're looking to get a head start on the fall season, try Scarlet Sunflower. Next we've got Spiced Ember Glow. This one's smoked apple and vanilla with cinnamon embers. It's a deep, spicy cinnamon scent with some warmth to it. So I was thinking this one would be kind of like fireside or bonfire beach with the smoky note, and I don't get that. It is kind of like embers. So like, rather than smelling smoky at all, I smell like cooked apples, like baked apples, cinnamon, and like just like the warm toasty smell you get when you're sitting near a fireplace. So it doesn't smell like smoke, it doesn't smell like wood, it just smells warm, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't get any wood specifically, or soot or smoke. So if you don't like those notes, I think you might be okay with this still. I do think you need to like spice to like this. So if cinnamon's not your thing, skip this one. But I really like this. This one reminds me of like closer to the holidays, like when we're into like mid-December and like the really cold winter months. This one's really nice. I think this would also pair nicely with any of the bakery scents like sugar cookie, vanilla bean, buttercream, anything to kind of sweeten it up a little bit if you wanted to. It is really nice on its own though. And I think this one's going to be a boomer of a performer, so we'll see. And last from the new collection, we have Tinselberry. This one is strawberry, cranberry, cinnamon, and sweet sugar. And yeah, this one's kind of a little bit unique in that it's kind of a strawberry cinnamon. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's definitely strawberry, like an artificial strawberry. I don't get so much cranberry, I'm definitely getting more strawberry. Definitely cinnamon, and it is a sweet scent. I'm not sure. This one, maybe it'll warm a little bit nicer, but for me, the strawberry and the cinnamon are just kind of strange together. I don't hate it, I'm not sure about it yet. I'll want to warm this one and see how it goes. But this one kind of reminds me of holiday parties. I could see this one being nice for like having people over at Christmas time. because it's a little bit spicy without being too spicy. It's sweet without being super foodie and bakery. It's just kind of a nice holiday scent. So not a bad one, not my favorite. I'm gonna reserve judgment on this one till I warm it. So those are the 10 new ones and my kind of thoughts on them. And then now we will carry on to the ones that are fall and holiday scents that are returning from previous fall and winters. All right, so let's start with the kind of fall specific scents. I'm not gonna go through the scent categories. I'm more gonna go with fall scents and then holiday scents. So in no particular order, here are some of the fall scents that are returning. We have First Day of Fall, which is Just Picked Pumpkin, Autumn Woods, Nutmeg, and Cinnamon. I really like this one. If you're looking for one that's pretty close to Bath & Body Works Leaves, it's this one, I think. First Day of Fall kind of reminds me of Bath & Body Works Leaves with a bit more woodiness to it. And it's like a nice wood. It's not a dry wood. It's kind of more like a birch. It kind of reminds me of like birch trees in the fall when the leaves turn yellow and fall and they get kind of crispy. It smells like that. And I really, really like it. There's a little bit of sweetness to it too. And I think that I almost get a little bit of apple in here, but I don't see it in the notes. But yeah, there's a tiny bit of spice, but it's not so much spicy as in a spice way. It's more spicy in the way dried leaves smell a little bit spicy. This one's really pretty. Next up, we have Clove and Cinnamon. This one is cinnamon sticks and clove. Pretty straightforward. Much heavier for me on the clove than the cinnamon. It's very strong. I'm not a big clove lover, but it is very clove. I think this one would be good for mixing, or if you're someone who just likes very simple traditional scents, this one is very classic in that way. I think you could also mix this with any of the bakery scents to spice them up, or if you have any, like maybe Johnny Appleseed, this would be good with. You could do a lot of mixing with this, or I think if you just prefer a strong but simple scent, clove and cinnamon. So next up we have Cider Mill. This one is apples, pumpkin, and spices. This one's really, really nice. It is popular for a reason. It is pumpkin, it is apple, and there is some spice. And the spice is kind of like a mix of, I think, a little bit of clove, a little bit of cinnamon, and maybe some allspice. Like, it is a nice mixture of spices, not just cinnamon. I really like this one. Again, I have not melted any of these fall scents on warm yet, so these are cold opinions, but Cider Mill's a really nice one. The other one that I really enjoy is Cedar Cider, which is in the woods category, and it is apple, cinnamon, vanilla bean, and white cedar. This one's really nice. It's got kind of a deep woody note to it, which is the cedar. And sometimes for me, cedar reads as like hamster cage shavings. And I sort of get that on cold here, but I can overlook it because it's such a beautiful scent. We'll see how this one warms. This one has potential to go full hamster cage, but like clean hamster cage, don't get me wrong. But I really like this one. This one kind of reminds me a lot of Cider Mill, but where Cider Mill is more like daytime cider and a little bit sweeter, Cedar Cider is more of like a kind of a little bit spicier, like, I guess smoother isn't the word, but it's got that wood, like the grounding kind of deep wood. This is more of the evening cedar cider. This is more of the evening scent. So Cedar Cider for evening, I see Cider Mill for daytime is the way I see it. I'm gonna get bars of both of these. I really like them both. Next up in the fruity category, we have Caramel Apple Craze. And this one is golden caramel, red delicious apples, and whipped vanilla. This one's really good. It says it's red delicious apple, which is like a sweeter apple, but I don't get red delicious so much. I get more of a tart apple, like maybe a Gala, not quite a Granny Smith, maybe a Mac apple, something a little bit tart, but not as tart as a Granny Smith, but red. And yes, the caramel is a very smooth caramel, a very sweet caramel. Some caramel scents are a little bit toasty smelling, and I don't get that from this one. This is a very smooth, sweet caramel and a really nice red, slightly tart fresh apple. I really like this one a lot. Definitely getting a bar. I think this would be like the best one to have on deck for Halloween. Yeah, perfect for Halloween. Next up we have pumpkin chai, and I believe it is in the spice category. Yeah, so it's white pumpkin, cinnamon, and chai. I have tried several times to make my nose cooperate with this one, but every time I stick my nose in it, no matter what, it smells like basmati rice. It doesn't smell bad, but it smells like basmati rice. Like good basmati rice, like basmati rice you get from the Indian restaurant, and it's got like cardamom and like different spices in it. It's really good, but it smells like rice. So I think for me, I want this to smell like either a pumpkin spice latte or like a pumpkin chai tea, and it doesn't smell like either of those. I sort of get pumpkin, but I mostly get like chai spices. But something about this smells like rice with chai spices, which is like Indian rice. So I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't dislike the scent. I just think it's not what I expected it to be. So I'm not so sure about this one. That's pumpkin chai. So Bright Cider Life is in the fruity category. It is spiced harvest cider, pumpkin, and red apple. This one is probably my favorite of the fall bunch. Maybe, that's hard to say, but I really like this one. It almost smells a little bit like molasses to me, but really toned down. It's very sweet. A little bit like sticky toffee, molassesy type scent. Just a teeny bit of spice. And I don't so much, maybe some apple. It's not an overly fruity scent, and that's why it throws me. I feel like this should be in the bakery category, because this smells much more bakery to me than fruity or spicy. I really like this one. If you are uncertain about pumpkin scents or spicy scents, try Bright Cider Life, because this one isn't overly pumpkin, even though there's pumpkin in it, and it's not overly spicy either. I think if you like sweet scents that are just kind of fallish and maybe a little on the bakery side, you might like Bright Cider Life, because this one is fabulous. Next in the fruity category, we have Autumn Road Trip. This one is Harvest Apple, Anjou Pear, and Silver Oak. Really pretty. You definitely get oak in the back there. You definitely get pear and apple. So it's a tart, fruity, like fresh, juicy scent with just some oak smoothing it out. It's really pretty. Yeah, this one kind of reminds me of like earlier fall when the leaves are just kind of turning. Not after they've fallen, when they're still like on the trees but are colorful. Yeah. It's like fresh and fruity and fallish without being overly spice heavy. Although I do get some spice to this, even though there's none in the notes. Just a little tiny bit, but this one's a really good one, especially if you don't normally like spice scents. Try this one, Autumn Road Trip. Next we have Autumn Hearth. This one I believe is in the spice category. Yeah. So apple, cinnamon, and tonka. This one's very deep and it is spicy. Again, I get more of a cooked apple. And again, I get like a mixture of spices. Cinnamon, clove, maybe some nutmeg and allspice. It's definitely a variety of spices. And I don't know that I get tonka so much. Tonka's kind of like vanilla. It might just be a smoothing blending note in this, because I don't so much get that. It's more of like a spiced apple scent. And it is a little bit on the deeper side, I would say as well. This one kind of reminds me of like later fall or a fall evening. So that's what I would use this for. Next up we have Pumpkin Roll. This one might be in the bakery category. Yes. So it is pumpkin pie filling, yellow cake, pecans, butter, and spice. It's nice. It's a good bakery one. Definitely pumpkin. Lighter on the pumpkin than most other fall scents. Lighter in general than most of the other fall scents. So if you like a lighter scent, try pumpkin roll. Lighter on the spice, but there is a little bit. It is kind of more of a cake note, but it's not a very rich cake. A lot of the cake scents are very heavy vanilla. This one really isn't. It's like a light pumpkin cake I smell. Yeah. It is vanilla. I don't get pecans. But again, this one could change a lot on warm. I suspect this one would get a lot more complex on warm, but on cold, it's a fairly light pumpkin, slightly spiced, fairly neutral cake scent. That's what I'm getting from pumpkin roll. Next we have salted caramel toffee. This one is salted caramel, toffee, and butterscotch. Yes, it is. This one's good. It is, I get mostly caramel, butterscotch a little bit. So if I had to guess, I would say 70% caramel, 20% butterscotch, 10% toffee would be my breakdown. There is a bit of toffee, like that crunchier note. Crunchier note. Does crunchy have a smell? Apparently it does. Yeah, but they are slightly different. This one I think on its own would be nice, but I think you could really bump it up a notch by pairing it with like Johnny Appleseed or any of the spicier, like I think Autumn Hearth with this, any of the spicier fall scents. I think having a bar of this to toss a cube in with those would be perfect. So if I buy a bar of salted caramel toffee, it's going to be as a mixing bar for me, because that's what I can see using it for. But it's a good scent in its own right as well. So that is salted caramel toffee. Farm Stand Pumpkin is in the spice category, and it's apple, cinnamon stick, pumpkin, and caramel. It is pumpkin. It is caramel. The apple's much lighter in this one. And the cinnamon isn't overly present either. There's a little tiny bit of spice here, but not a whole lot. So if you don't like spice, you're probably okay with Farm Stand Pumpkin. Yeah, so this one is mostly pumpkin, caramel, then apple, and then maybe just a tiny hint of spice. So overall, really nice. For me, I don't know that it's a standout. I think there are other ones in this fall collection that I prefer, although I do quite enjoy this one. I got nothing bad to say about it. I would say it's light medium strength. It is less strong than some of the others. So if you tend to find that some of those fall spicy scents are a little bit too strong for you, or you want to use it in a smaller space, maybe try Farm Stand Pumpkin. Because yeah, it is a nice one. So next we have Maple Apple Bourbon. And Maple Apple Bourbon is in the spice category, and it's juicy red apple, rich maple, and a splash of bourbon. Yeah. It is apple. It is spicy. There's a bit of a mapley note there. I almost read it more as like a deep kind of burnt dark caramel though than maple. Yeah, I don't so much get maple. For me, it's more like if you've cooked caramel like a little bit longer than you normally do, and it gets a lot darker. It's more like a dark caramel, apple, and just a tiny bit of like a slightly burny, boozy note. That's what I get from this. There's almost a slight nuttiness to it as well, I think. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of pecan or something in here as well. It is nice. For me, this isn't one of my favorites of the fall collection, but I do like it. And again, if you're in a larger space, or if you like a slightly more masculine scent without going into like cologne territory at all, try Maple Apple Bourbon, because it does read just a teeny bit masculine to me without being anything like any kind of cologne. So I do enjoy that. Again, not for my house necessarily, not for me, but I do like the scent itself. Next we have Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl. This one is in the spice category as well. I thought it was in bakery, but it's in spice. It's pumpkin, cinnamon stick, and whipped icing. This one's one of my favorites. Yes, it is pumpkin, and it's like cinnamon sugar. For me, this smells very much like a pumpkin donut that's been like glazed in like a sugar glaze and then rolled around in like cinnamon sugar. I really like this one. This is what I'm gonna have bars of for sure. Yeah. I think this would take you through early September, late August, early September, all the way through the holidays, and even through the rest of the cold months if you want to. This one's a good all-purpose cold weather scent. Nice and bakery in my opinion. It is in the spice category. There is cinnamon to it, but overall I think it's more of a bakery scent. Next we have apples and cinnamon sticks. It's apple peel, white pumpkin, and a touch of oak. For some reason the oak is kind of reminding me of the cedar note from cedar cider. It is apple and it is cinnamon, but that oak is quite present. There is quite a woody note to this. I like this though. Apples and cinnamon stick sounds like it would be kind of boring, so I'm glad they kind of did add a little bit more to this. So it does have that nice woody note grounding it. Very homey. I really like this one as well. I can't decide if I would get this one again and again, but I probably would get a bar of it. It is nice. And again, I think this would take you through all of the cold months. I don't think this is fall specific. I don't think it's holiday specific. I think anytime you want warm and cozy, apple and cinnamon sticks would do it without being season specific. Next we have Autumn Sunset in the spice category, and it is apples, pumpkins, and spices. It's nice. This one reminds me of tea a little bit. I kind of get a tea vibe from it. You know how David's Tea sometimes puts out like tea in the fall? This one would be like apple chunks and like different spicy things. Yeah, it smells like when you like have a warm mug of like herbal fruity tea and you're just kind of sniffing it out of the mug. It's nice. Yeah. It is a little on the spicy side, but not overly so. There is no pumpkin to this that I get, although it is in the notes. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there might be some pumpkin there. But I think more apple than pumpkin. But yeah, I do like this one. It smells like fall tea. And last of the fall scents, we have Weathered Leather. I don't like this one at all. This is probably my least favorite Scentsy scent in the world. I know some people really like this one, and I do get the idea or the appeal of leather scents. I know some people like that like new car smell or that walking into a leather shop smell. I don't like that scent, but I get that some people do. But to me, this doesn't even smell like that. If it smelled like that, I would kind of get it, but this doesn't smell like that. This smells like dirty leather to me, or like you walked into like a barn with a bag of beef jerky. Like you open a bag of beef jerky and walked into a barn. Yeah, I don't like it at all. The notes on this are dark suede, leather, and oak. And yeah, I guess I get suede. I definitely get leather. And I think if I try really hard, I can smell oak. And then when I rub it, I get beef jerky. Yeah, I don't like this one. This is not my favorite. I think it is fairly strong though. And I think if you wanted to mix it with like vanilla, you might get some kind of interesting combination. I don't care to do that myself, but if you like leather scents a lot and you find this one to be a little bit too much, you could try some different blends. Vanilla bean buttercream is always a good go-to to kind of smooth it out a little bit. So that would be my suggestion if you like weathered leather. All right, we are 20 minutes in and we're moving on to the holiday scents. So let me get kind of organized here. All right, so first of all, we have Dancing Sugar Plums in the spice category. It's spiced plum, vanilla, cinnamon, and apple. And this one's really pretty. Definitely plums. There is some apple to it, but I don't get so much cinnamon. So I get like plums and apples. It is sweet. I get more of like a sugariness than a vanilla. This one's really pretty. And it is festive without being a traditional holiday scent. So I really like this one as well. So if you like more fruity scents, but you don't like spice, or like cranberry or mint or those normal holiday scents, try Dancing Sugar Plums. I think it would also be really nice as a bedroom scent. Next up, we have Vanilla Mint in the fresh category, which is Wintergreen Frost, Vanilla, and Frozen Citrus. It's fantastic. Sweet peppermint. Definitely vanilla, so I'm thinking that's what's giving that peppermint the sweetness. And some citrus. But the citrus is light and just kind of brightens it up. This is beautiful. This one is going to be an excellent one to have on deck for January and just after the holidays when you want to like freshen your house up but it's still winter out. Vanilla Mint. Beautiful. Next up we have Very Snowy Spruce in the woods category. This is balsam, spruce, cedar branches, and pine cones. And this is like your, I would say it's not unique, but I get why it's popular. This smells a lot like the balsam scent that Yankee Candle has. It smells a lot like the Christmas tree scents that Bath & Body Works puts out every year. It's a very traditional Christmas tree type scent, Very Snowy Spruce. I'm not a huge fan of these types of scents, but I do get why they're popular. They do smell kind of like a real tree. There are a few that Scentsy offers. This is probably my least favorite of the ones that they have, but it is probably their most popular. So if you like those other ones from other brands, try Very Snowy Spruce. Next we have Iced Pine. It is fir, pine, and peppermint. This one's a bit fresher, a little bit more crisp, with that little tiny hint of mint, and maybe a little bit less sweet. Iced Pine. So it is tree-like, with just a hint of mint to kind of feel like a cool tree, and a little bit less sweet than Very Snowy Spruce. I can't decide if I like it better or worse. It's alright. It's a good tree scent. I think it's slightly less strong, so if you have issues with these like overpoweringness of some of those tree scents, Iced Pine might be your choice. Next we have Red Berry and Spruce, and of the tree scents, this is my pick. Those tree scents tend to give me a headache when I warm them because they're quite strong and very fresh. And Red Berry and Spruce would be my choice because it's cranberry, raspberry, and blue spruce. So instead of being just full on tree, you have some berry notes to kind of round it out and bring it down a notch and sweeten it a bit. It's really nice. It's just tree enough to be like it's definitely a tree scent, but there is enough berry in there to kind of smooth it. So if you want to make your artificial tree smell real, I would put a wall fan diffuser or a scent pack or something near the tree in either one of those three scents. My pick would be Red Berry and Spruce, but Very Snowy Spruce or Iced Pine would also work. Next up we have Perfect Peppermint. This one is just pure peppermint. And I don't know how about that. I love this one, but for me this isn't pure peppermint. For me, pure peppermint would be very like herbal, and for me this is more of a candy cane peppermint. Like this doesn't smell like peppermint essential oil. This smells like candy cane peppermint for me. And I really like it. It's fantastic. I think if you mix this with Hug in a Mug, get some like minty hot chocolate going on, really any of the winter scents, add a minty note to it, or just use this on its own for, again, in like January when you're putting your Christmas decorations away or just getting your house kind of organized, cleaning. Perfect Peppermint. It's great. Next we have Snowberry, and it is in the fruity category. Loganberry, strawberry, peppermint, and cinnamon. I don't know what loganberry is, but I definitely get cranberry. Or maybe I don't, because cranberry is not in the notes. But I'm not really getting strawberry, so I think it must be the loganberry, which to me smells like cranberry. Teeny tiny bit of peppermint, but hardly any. And very little spice. I'm getting more of like a berry tree note, if anything. It's more of like a sweet pine with berries, like sweet pine and cranberry to me. It's really nice, kind of a traditional winter fragrance. I like it. Next we have Very Merry Cranberry. This one is winter berries and cedar. Yeah, this is pretty classic. You cannot go wrong. If you're a cranberry fan, you cannot go wrong. Cranberries with just a teeny bit of wood to kind of ground it and give it some depth. That wood isn't smelling like wood, it's just adding depth. It's really, really nice. Excellent choice, Very Merry Cranberry. Next we have Winterberry Apple Tea. This is winter tea, cranberry, apple, and honey. Spicier than I expected. More cinnamon than I expected. It is nice, but I don't get tea so much. If you're looking for like black tea, you're not going to get it here. For me, this is more like those festive teas that you get from like David's Tea at the holidays, where they're like a fruity herbal tea. It's more like those. I think they had one last year called like Sleigh Ride. This might remind me of that. Yeah, it is cranberry apple and like tea, but it's more like a herbal tea with cranberry and apple dried pieces. It's nice. I like it. Not what I expected, but I like it. Next we have Christmas Cottage. This one is in the spice category. And it's Valencia orange, raspberry, clove, and spice. You do get a tiny bit of clove, but it's not overpowering, so if you're afraid of clove, you'll still be okay, I think. You do get orange. You do get spice. I don't know that I get raspberry specifically, but there is another note besides the orange that is fruity. So I would identify it as maybe berry and orange. I'd probably say cranberry and orange rather than raspberry and orange, but it could be raspberry. It's a really good Christmas scent. This is one of the first Christmas Scentsy scents I tried. I really like Christmas Cottage. Next up we have Breakfast in Bed, which is pumpkin pastry, black raspberry, and sweet cinnamon drizzle. Definitely pumpkin. I'm getting like pumpkin scone, like some kind of pumpkin pastry for sure. Pumpkin scone. I'm not getting the black raspberry at all in this. I have bars of this though, and I do get the black raspberry on the underside of those bars. So I know it's in there, I just can't smell it in this cup. And I do get cinnamon to this as well, so there is like a cinnamon to it. I don't know if I get cinnamon drizzle so much as I get cinnamon baked into the pumpkin pastry, because it's not overly sweet for me. It is kind of a bakery scent, but it's more spicy bakery for me. So I do like it. Quite cinnamon heavy though. If you don't like cinnamon, you might not like this. It's nice though. Next we have Berry Blessed, and this one is in the fruity category. It is vanilla, cranberry, and sparkling sugar. It's nice. This reminds me of something we had in the summer collection, but I can't think of what. It's berry. It's sweet berry. It's not season specific. I think this would be perfectly fine literally any time of year. Yeah, I can see why it's popular. For me, I feel like I would want more. It's not a very deep scent. It's just kind of a sweet berry. And it's nice. And if berry is your thing, check this one out. It's almost got like a slightly blackberry vibe to it. Yeah, I almost get some blackberry and almost like a slight hint of fizziness, but it's not in the notes, so I don't know. I like it. It's not one of my absolute favorites, but I do like it. I think I'd probably melt this in like my daughter's room because I think she would enjoy this. It does feel very youthful to me. Next we have Jewel Pomegranate, which is shimmering pomegranate, sugared mandarin, and cinnamon. Yes, so this one is nice. You get exactly what they're describing. You get pomegranate, it's like a deep pomegranate with some orange and some cinnamon to kind of ground it out. I like this one a lot. This is probably my pick of the fruity category, Jewel Pomegranate. Next we have in the fresh category, Silver Bells. This was also one of my first Scentsy scents. Mint candy canes, winter pear, caramel, and vanilla sugar. It's so good. Yes, this is one of those scents that's really hard to describe because you know it smells good, but you can't describe it. So before I did Scentsy, I knew this had mint in it, and I could tell it was sweet, and I thought there might be some kind of fruity component, but I couldn't have identified it as pear. But there definitely is some kind of caramel to it, a little bit of a sweetness in the pear, and definitely some mint to make it feel cool. It's really beautiful. It is fresh and clean without being soapy or powdery or anything else. Highly recommend Silver Bells. Next up we have Around the Campfire. This one is mountain air, fresh fallen wood, and smoky embers. Yes, so if you like Marshmallow Fireside from Bath & Body Works without the marshmallow, just the smoky fire note, this is that. And I think this would be great for mixing with those marshmallow scents or with those bakery scents that you have. If you hate the smell of like campfires, skip this one. I like it. This one is very smoky, very charred wood with just a hint of fresh air. This one is like if you're out camping and you're in like a hoodie in the woods, sitting next to like the firewood pile, next to the campfire, and there's like smoke and your hoodie smells like smoke and everything else. It's very evocative. Yeah. This one I don't know that I would warm by itself in my house. I think it'd be a little bit much, but I would definitely buy a bar of this as a mixer. So I can see putting it with like 2 cubes of toasted marshmallow or 2 cubes of vanilla bean buttercream to 1 cube of this to really just create like a really cozy, homey, fireplace is going, but it's also really sweet kind of scent. That's what I would do with Around the Campfire. Next we have Hug in a Mug in the bakery category. Chocolate, hazelnut, and cookie dough. It's like a milk chocolate, hot chocolate with cookie dough. It's really nice, really sweet, really simple. It's just kind of one of those very foody, very sweet scents. And it is definitely like a milk chocolate for me. It's not rich. If you don't normally like dark chocolate type scents, this is a little bit different than those. It's very much milk chocolate, very creamy. It's a nice one. It says there's hazelnut in here. I kind of get that, although I wouldn't pull them out as a note. I get milk chocolate and cookie dough. I think if you mix this with Perfect Peppermint, you'd have a great mint hot chocolate scent. Next we have Arctic Kiss, which is Arctic Mint, Fresh Air, and Vanilla Clouds. Yes. This is like winter laundry, sort of. Winter clean house. It's got like a teeny tiny hint of melon. Clean laundry and fresh air without being like headachy, because sometimes those fresh air scents are kind of like really sharp and ozone-y. This one isn't. Arctic Mint is beautiful. So it is kind of mostly like a lightly minty laundry scent to me, but it's very crisp, very pretty, and a little tiny bit fruity. So Arctic Kiss is a good one. Be Merry in the woods category is Pine Boughs, Holly Leaf, and Cassis. Another one of my top favorites from the holiday line. So if I had to pick a top 5, this would be in it, and that's Be Merry. So for me, this is cranberry and like greenery. I know cranberry's not in the notes, unless that's what Cassis or Cassis is, but I get sweet pine, some like green, and maybe there's holly berries in this because there is holly leaf, but it's like a very berry, sweet, cranberry pine note. I like this one a great deal. Very traditional holiday, very November, December, great one to have around. Next we have Perfectly Pomegranate, which is in the fruity category. Pomegranate and sweet berry. If I had to guess, the sweet berry is strawberry. There's no effervescence to this one, so if you don't like effervescence, this doesn't have it. It is pomegranate and like strawberry for me. Very simple, very sweet berry. For me, it's just okay, but it is a sweet berry scent with pomegranate. It's all right for me. I haven't warmed this one, but for me, I'd want to mix this because for me, there's not enough going on here to keep me interested. But if you like just very sweet scents and you're not big into like the pine and the mint and all of that, Perfectly Pomegranate might be just what you need. Next we have Cinnamon Bear in the spice category, and it is cinnamon and cloves. So you might be asking, what's the difference between this and cinnamon and clove? And the difference is this one has less clove. So this one smells like those cinnamon hearts or cinnamon bears that you get around Valentine's Day. And clove and cinnamon is more clove, much more clove heavy. So while I do get cloves in this, I would say this is a lot more cinnamon. So if clove and cinnamon is too clovey for you, try cinnamon bear. I don't know that I would melt this a lot. For me, I would maybe get some of this for like Valentine's Day. It would be kind of fun for that, I think. Next up in the fresh category, we have Polar Bear Hug, which is recently renamed from Eskimo Kiss. So this is blackberry jam, caramelized brown sugar, vanilla, and amber. And this is really pretty as well. This one kind of feels to me like Arctic Kiss's cousin. They don't smell the same at all, but they have the same vibe. So like clean, crisp, fresh, and also sweet. So where Arctic Kiss has that kind of melon sweetness, Polar Bear Hug has that like brown sugar vanilla sweetness. So if you're not a big fan of melon or you prefer less fruity, try Polar Bear Hug. Honestly, I'd get both. They're both really good. Both fantastic. Next we have Cozy Cardigan, also in fresh. This one's so good. If you like cashmere and corduroy, you'll probably like this and vice versa. Again, they don't smell the same, but they have the same vibe. So soft suede, blushing rose, and amber silk. I don't get rose, at least not in the traditional rose type scent. I sort of get suede and amber silk. I guess I get amber, but it's not a headachy amber, so they're done nicely there. It's not overly perfumey. You might look at the notes and expect this to be perfumey, and it's not. So Cozy Cardigan's a fantastic one. I suggest trying this one out. Again, this one is not overly holiday specific, so I think this would get you through really any time of year would be fine for this. Perfect for a bedroom scent as well. Next we have Best in Snow, which is evergreen, cool mint, and icy air. And yes, I'm getting spearmint, like mostly spearmint, a little bit of like regular peppermint, which I guess is the icy air. Not a whole lot of evergreen here. I'm getting very much a mint scent. If there's evergreen, it's probably like 10%. I'm getting mostly spearmint with a little bit of peppermint. It's a nice one. Do I prefer it to like Perfectly Peppermint? No, I prefer vanilla mint as well, but it is still a really good scent and I'll probably get a bar. Next we have Homestead Holiday, which I think is in spice or woods. It's in spice. So blood orange, cinnamon, and fir needle. This one is interesting because this one, at first you smell it and you think this is just a spicy tree scent. But it's more. Yeah, this one is one of those ones that you're like, meh, when you first smell it. But then as you keep smelling it, you're like, oh, there's the orange. And yeah, the notes are just orange, cinnamon, and fir. So you think, okay, orange, cinnamon, and fir are in tons of winter scents. But this one is somehow unique despite that. I really like it. It kind of reminds me of like when like the holidays are imminent, like really imminent, like the week of Christmas or like really close. It's hard to explain, but you do get the tree scent. You have to like tree scents to like this, I think. You get a bit of cinnamon, so again, I think you have to at least be able to tolerate cinnamon. And the orange takes kind of a backseat, but it is there to kind of, I guess, brighten things or sweeten them just a tiny bit. It's not a sweet scent, but it does have a little bit of sweetness to it. I'm really excited to melt this one. So that is the fall and holiday lineup of returning scents. So we've gone through a whole ton of scents tonight. So I will, in the next week or so, make another video for those of you who are newer to Scentsy or who haven't tried all of the general catalog scents that tend to kind of come back every season. So that will be the next video, which will include all of the ones that are, you know, in most catalogs year round. So if you're newer to Scentsy, you can have a look at that. It'll be up in the next little while. This will be a busy filming week for me because there's the autumn transition and it's the end of the month, so we're going to have melting baskets and all of that stuff coming up. So be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this, because there's a lot more coming this week. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.